Hi there, I'm Sean Osterlink, and this is Overcoming with ACT. Thank you for stopping by today to watch another video. Today I'm going to be talking about cognitive fusion, and specifically experiments that you could practice to kind of experience um, just what's happening when cognitive fusion is happening. And really, these things are about just illustrating how our minds can get hooked on things, how thoughts, experiences, memories can be kind of sticky, that once you notice them, it's hard to get rid of them if you're trying to. And so I'm going to be talking off of a handout that I made that sometimes I give to clients, sometimes I just reference. And my source for this is Happiness Trap, actually the illustrated version of that. So I'm going to be referencing activities that they have in that book, written by Russ Harris and Bev Eisbet. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm also going to be referencing an episode of the IT Crowd. So there's a funny episode that relates to this. But the first one I'm going to talk about, the first fusion experiment here, is try not thinking about something and then testing, like, does that work? And so on my little handout here that I'm going to reference, I have here, you could replace this with something else, but the example I'm going to use is if you want to try this experiment with me. Don't think about ice cream. Don't think about ice cream. Don't think about ice cream. Don't think about the color of some ice cream. Don't think about the texture of ice cream. Don't think about the sprinkles that might go in the ice cream. Don't think about the chocolate chips that might go in the ice cream. Don't think about whatever you would think was really good to go in some ice cream right now. Just try not thinking about ice cream at all, not thinking about how creamy it can be, not thinking about the coldness of that ice cream or what it is like to bite into some ice cream. Like, don't think about ice cream at all right now. Okay, so don't think about it if you're practicing this with me right now. Okay, so pause, take a moment. What is your mind doing? What do you notice happen? Right, this is almost a rhetorical question. Right, what happened is you're probably thinking about ice cream, right? That just by talking about the thing, having it come up into the mind is enough to contact that thing, right? There's, like, within science, there's the idea that you can't observe a phenomenon without also like affecting the phenomenon, without like changing something about the phenomenon just by observing it. And so just by bringing that awareness of, like, well, I shouldn't think about XYZ, insert something, is enough for the mind to start down that path of getting hooked, getting fused with that thing. And so that is just one experiment for that. We're going to stay with that theme. I have another activity here that is, let's see. So this is what I write here. Pick an object around you, something to look at, and as you look at the object, don't think about it. Okay, so I'm going to pick an object in the room. If you're doing this activity as well, you can pick something around you. There is a tea kettle above the camera, so I'm going to look at that. I'm going to look at that and I'm going to tell myself, don't think about it. Don't think about the tea kettle. Don't think about the handle that's on the tea kettle. Don't think about the parts that are silver. Don't think about the parts that are black. Don't think about the words that are on the tea kettle. Okay, you know where I'm going with this. What are you experiencing if you're doing this activity, wherever you're at? What I'm experiencing is that right now, not only am I thinking about this tea kettle that's right in front of me, I'm thinking about other tea kettles. I'm thinking about the tea kettle we have at home. I'm thinking about a new tea kettle we got recently. And so now I'm going from what's right in the room here with me and what I'm doing right now, and then it's pulling me out of the present into my mind. There's a little hook going on there. Now I'm thinking about a red tea kettle, right? And so, okay, there was that experiment. And I have with these, the questions with these is, what did your mind do? and what happened when you tried not to think about it, right? So that's, you could ask that for each one of these things. Okay, and this is all about noticing what is your mind doing. What is the pattern? This is a metacognitive kind of thing. Right? I've explained before, like CBT is working at the level of the thought. Bad thought comes in. Let me smack that away with good thought. Let me use reason and logic to try to get rid of that. Let me try to focus on more positive things, good things, gratitude things, to try to outweigh the negative things that my mind is noticing or focused on. And that's really useful. CBT's got a lot of evidence. I certainly use aspects of that, probably make episodes with that. But with ACT, we're not going at that. We're not hitting it directly. We're taking like a top-down approach where we're going, wait, that's a thought. I noticed that. I've noticed that what my brain is doing. I've noticed what's playing out here. Okay, so I'm stepping back and noticing, hey, I just made a video about that. I've already uploaded it. Okay, so the next one here, that was actually still on try not to think about it. The next one is try not to be stressed by something, and I'm going to relate this to an IT crowd episode. In that episode, there's a scene where the boss of the main characters brings in a stress testing machine and tells them anybody who's still stressed by the end of the day will be fired. So he gives them that threat, and then he has them hooked up to the machine and tests whether they're stressed. It's a hilarious episode, but my point is with this exercise then is to if you want to practice this experiment at home, always take care of yourself over there. I'm doing this to right, inform, but at the same time, like, I'm not your therapist. This is just a YouTube channel to entertain and inform. And yeah, so take care of yourself if you're over there practicing this. But you might imagine being in that scenario. Imagine your boss telling you, or imagine a situation where you're being told that you're not allowed to be stressed. You might even perhaps think about a situation that might cause you stress, and then try to not be stressed by that. So you might experiment with recalling something, or if I was working with a client, you might practice recalling something that was stressful. And if we were to play out this experiment, then it would be bring that up, imagine that stressful experience, and you, the viewer, might, I'll give you a moment if you want to practice this yourself, and then try to forget it. Try not to think about it. Try not to be stressed by it. Can you just turn it off? Can you just blink that out of there? Now, I wish I could say I'm practicing this with you, but as I'm doing this video, I'm finding it hard to actually drudge up, be stressed right now. I could maybe think about, what if this video bombed and people hated it and downvoted it and left mean comments or something? That might stir me up, right? Right? Those aren't the kind of things you want to get as a YouTuber and making content. Okay, so then just try to turn that off. Just off switch. Okay, and then notice what happens. What do you experience? Is it still there? Is it still hanging around? Could you turn it off? Okay. Right, maybe go watch that. If you're still hooked on that, maybe use a distraction. Go watch that episode. There's probably that scene on YouTube or something, and then go have a laugh. You use distraction to get your mind off. Okay, so moving on to the next one. I'm just leaving you, the viewer, hooked on whatever you were just stressed about. Whoops. But we're ground to the present, and then, all right, push your feet to the floor. I'm gonna hold the chair. I'm gonna notice my breath. I'm here right now. If you're viewing this, you're watching this video, you're hopefully getting some form of entertainment out of this. Something. Time is going by. Our lives are drawing closer to to the end, right? Existential things happening here. Oh, that's serious. Okay. Remember an event. This is similar to the other one. Remember an event and then try to forget about it. With this activity, you're going to try to think about a memory event in your life. This can be, maybe think about something small. This could be something happy or something sad. Just any emotion. And then, going back to this, to the previous activity, would be then see if you can just turn that off. Right? See if you can just shove that out of your mind. Can you dredge something up? Notice that it's there, and then just turn it off. So if you want to practice trying that, you can. Right? This is all up to you. You're autonomous. You're a viewer out there on YouTube. Right? You do you out there. But just notice what happens. What did your mind do as you do this activity? Just notice what it's doing. Right? We just went from IT crowd scenario to now maybe something else that you might, if you're practicing this, might have had happen in your life. Okay. So just notice what happened. And again, we're experiencing that as I try to shove it away, it gets sticky, gets caught. It's not easy to do that. Right? Getting hooked. That's getting hooked. Right? See, I got a couple more of these. So this one's notice a body sensation. Now try to make it feel numb. I think that was also one of the activities from this Happiness Trap illustrated book. And so his example, this is the Russ Harris example, was to like feel the inside of your mouth with your tongue. And I'm going to do that. And I got to keep talking, so I can't keep noticing that. But you would just notice what your mouth feel like. Notice that. Be with that right now. We can get even mindful with that, right? There's a mindful opportunity. Just tune into that sensation. It could be a different sensation, right? You might just feel where you're sitting or where you're standing. I just want you to tune into a sensation right now, if you're going to practice this with me. And then see if you can just make it feel numb. Make yourself feel numb to that sensation. Can you do it? What happens? Right? Can you just make your body change a physical sensation like that? And I know these are rhetorical questions. These are things to kind of think about and notice, like relate this to other things in your life, other things in our lives where maybe we go, well, I wish I didn't feel that way. I shouldn't feel that way. Man, I wish I could just get rid of this feeling right now. Right? That is just a wish, because we don't have the ability to do that. It doesn't actually work. Right? And the sooner, right, ACT is all about workability, all about finding things that work. The sooner we can let go of processes that aren't working and aren't actually making us feel better, aren't actually making us more capable of living the kind of lives we want, the better. And then, let's see. I got you the last one. This one is similar. Remember an event that made you feel a certain way. Okay, so this is about an emotional content. This is kind of like the other one, actually, thinking about a memory. And okay, you get to pick what emotion you want to go into here, what memory you want to go into here. And then again, I want you to notice that if you're practicing this, if you want to practice this experiment, right? You're just somebody who's viewing this. You're taking this at your own risk, okay? Don't do anything you don't feel like doing. You're watching a video on YouTube. Taking it into your own hands here as a viewer. But think of this memory. Notice what feelings show up for you. And then again, notice, can you just turn that off? Can you just stop feeling that? And what happens? What happens as you try to just turn off an emotion? And I'll clarify that, because with the previous one, this was about trying not to remember, right? Turning off a memory. This one was about trying to turn off a sensation. This one is about trying to turn off an emotion, a feeling. I know these come off as very similar. I'm like looking at the sheet and I'm like, that kind of seems a lot like number 4 here. I'm getting hooked. I got a timer going off over here. I should do some work. Okay. And then my last question here is, what happened and did it work? What happened and did it work? This is all about experimenting with fusion, with how you get fused. And so if you're using this for self-growth, for insight, if you were hypothetically a client, then this would be about relating this to what's going on in your own life. How do you get hooked in your anxiety, in your depression, in your anger, and whatever struggle that you deal with, getting hooked into cycles of conflict, getting hooked into some impulsive behavior, addictive behavior, getting hooked into an OCD kind of cycle. Like, how do you notice that you get pulled in? What are those triggers for getting pulled in? What are your don't responses? What are your responses that are pushing away kind of responses that cause you to get fused and wrapped up? Like a little thought cloud comes along here. Oh, that's an ugly looking cloud, and it's got a hook on it, and it comes along into your mind and it catches you. And then the more you try to fight it, then a tornado happens. And that's experiential control. That's the fight. That's the tug of war trying to get rid of it. Okay, so this is all about noticing how that cycle plays out. So I thank you, my viewers, whoever may watch this, for hanging out, for watching this video, for learning, maybe, I don't know, learning something here. And something about ACT and fusion. And I hope you enjoyed this and enjoy doing these activities and playing around with these little thought experiments here. And I plan to just keep making content, there we go, content around ACT and other therapy topics. And so, all right, thank you, and I'll see you next time.